Coming up on today's show, Kingdom Hearts 4 has been announced, and Alexa Ray is here to talk about it. What's good, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the What's Good Games podcast, your source for video game news, commentary, analysis, and funny stuff every Friday. I'm Andrea Renee, joined by a giggling Brittany Brombacher.
You didn't hear my burp, I assume. I hope that Alexa heard it. Look at Alexa.
Alexa clearly heard it. Welcome back, Alexa Ray Korea.
That was the absolute best. Like, as you said, what?
It just came out. It slipped through the cracks.
So good.
I love it. I love it. Well, welcome everybody,
So
whether it's your first episode or your 271st episode. We're glad that you are here. And thank you to everybody who supports our little show, including Chewy's Godson, Alex Rigopulos, Faris Attieh, Justin Foshee, Matthew Goderre, and Punkdefied. Of course, those are our Patreon producers. You, of course, can support the show at patreon.com/whatsagoodgames. And thank you to everybody who has done so. It really means a lot to Brittany and I. Plus, we've got some wonderful sponsors, which we will talk about later. There's a weird thing on Brittany's face. Don't worry, I fixed it. And, of course, we have some wonderful sponsors this week. What's Good Games is brought to you by MapleStory and ZAVVI, but we will tell you more about them later. Alexa, I'm so glad that you are here for this episode. It's going to be
perfect.
It's going to be wonderful. But before we dive into the first news story, Brittany, it looks like we have a slew of new podcast reviewers.
Oh, yes, we do. We have Stacy Manson, Georgia Smith 24, Birdie Dog 80, Connor Bob Games, Hurricane Rules, and Drew 91365. Thank you all so much. You countered that not so nice person that left us a 1-star review last week. And now, listen, doesn't even matter anymore.
Dare.
Yeah, I know. It's because, Alexa, we swear and we talk about adult subjects, and we're no longer a good podcast for young children.
Then what? Awful.
Awful. But thanks to all those kind folks. That person's review is but nothing but dust in the wind.
Dust.
It's a fart in the wind. It doesn't matter anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Go kick rocks.
Burp in the wind.
Burp in the wind.
Any kind of expelled bodily gas into the wind is what it is. So thank you. Yes, Brittany, I love that we highlight these people. As we say week after week, kind words do make us feel really nice. So thank you for everybody who takes a few minutes out of their day to do so. So without further ado, I mean, we could keep pontificating about how great everybody is that supports the show, and I would. But Alexa, I had to message you the moment that this announcement went live to be like, by any chance, are you available to be on the show to talk about it? Because for people who are not familiar, one Alexa Ray Korea is, in fact, a Kingdom Hearts expert. She's the author of Kingdom Hearts 2, a boss fight book, which you can buy on a variety of book purveyors. But we have the Amazon link in the show notes. If you guys want to click on that and buy Alexa's book, it would help her out. And it's a nice thing to do, especially if you're interested in Kingdom Hearts. So Kingdom Hearts 4 was announced. Where were you when the announcement dropped, Alexa? Give us the play-by-play.
In bed. I was in bed.
Like most people, right?
So I knew that the event was happening, and in a perfect world, the pandemic would not have happened, and they would have sold tickets, and I would have been out there. I'd be gone. And I spent the days leading up to this talking to Kim Wallace at Game Informer, because she actually had the opportunity to do some interview stuff with Nomura, so we were already like super hype about it. And I went to bed on Saturday night after staying up until 1 a.m., checking Twitter constantly, looking at all the photos people were posting from the event. There was like this big, beautiful gallery where they were showcasing, like, they had all the soundtracks. They had some of Shimomura's sheet music. They had like these big statues. They had all the merchandise that's coming. I have pre-ordered most of what was shown in that display.
Of course you did.
Already. I bought the luggage. It's coming. I can't wait.
I didn't see that there was luggage. That's crazy.
Oh, there was luggage. And as I was about to pre-order it, Nate, like my fiance, came over and was looking at it. And he was like, can you get me the blue one? So now we both have Kingdom Hearts luggage coming.
Oh, my goodness. I can't even.
And I was like, I went a little ham. I'm like, that's fine. I make adult money. It's cool. And I knew that the event was happening like 3 hours after, like maybe like 1 a.m., 2 a.m., 3 a.m., whatever. And I was tired, and I was like, you know what? I'll go to bed. In the morning, I'll wake up, and I'll see everything, and it'll be great. It'll be fine. Well, 5 a.m. Sunday morning, my phone explodes. It wakes me up. All I hear is burr. Well, Nate wakes me up and is like, what's going on? And my phone is like, burr, burr, burr. And I open my eyes and I go, who needs me? Oh my God, Kingdom Hearts. And I like knew, like in my head, I was like, shit, it happened. And I pick up my phone and it's like, just every messaging app I have, just full. People, my brothers back home, people being like, Eliza, do you see that thing? One person just texted me a screenshot from this trailer of Sora laying on the couch and just wrote, guess who? And then sent the screenshot. And I was like, what the fuck? And so I then was awake at 5 a.m. going through all my messages. Twitter, everyone was like, thank you, Twitter friends. Everyone being like, has anyone heard from Alexa? Is she okay? What's going on? And I watched this trailer like 3 times in a row. And Nate was like, why are you up? What's going on? And I literally just like crawled back into bed with the screenshot of this. And I'm like, he has feet. Like I literally couldn't like speak at this time. Like at this time. I was like, look at the feet. The toes are weird. I'm like, and this right here, like I screaming, like I just screaming, and then I was up, and that was it. And then I pre-ordered more things, and just like had a morning. But it was not expected. I have to say, none of us were anticipating this. They did announce the ending of Dark Road, which we were expecting, and then we knew they were going to announce some weird extra side game, probably a mobile game, because they would have to announce a game at this thing, and they're probably working on something else. So that was like anticipated, and we were like, okay, cool. Well, when we can talk about that more later too. But this was not anticipated at all. That looks like my car. Like it literally looks like my freaking car.
It does actually look like your car.
Yeah, it's literally like I was like not expecting any of this, and it was confusing, and it was wild, and this looks insane, and I just have feelings everywhere. This is a thing that's happening, and it looks like Nomura is gonna make Final Fantasy Versus 13 if it kills him, and that's what this game basically is.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. It is the saltiest, it is the best public tantrum of I didn't get to make the game I wanted to make. The saltiest comeback being like, well, I'm just going to change my series so I can do the thing I want to do. Like, as a creator, I appreciate that he had like, you have the graveyard of your ideas that doesn't make it into stuff. And you can always go back to that well and pull and adapt it for other things you're making. But this is literally just Versus 13. And that's great.
Me, like watching this, I'm like, this does not look like the Kingdom Hearts I know. And granted, I don't know Kingdom Hearts from my ass in a hole in the ground. But looking at this, I'm like, dude, like this looks like in this trailer was made in Unreal
there's
Engine
more.
4.
Sorry, I forgot.
And the
Unreal
game's
5.
It's gonna be an Unreal 5, and it's gonna look even better than this. It's just wild. And like, what?
Unreal. So as someone who works in Unreal is like really intuitive and really like easy to work with. And part of the reason a lot of the stuff from the last game looked so good, like Tangled and Frozen and stuff, is while there's not like one-to-one asset porting. They didn't just like take the film Frozen and then dump it into Kingdom Hearts, although they literally kind of did that. It's a little bit easier to work between those programs, so it allows for faster development and stuff. So seeing this the way it is, I am feeling like we're going to get this like end of 2024, early 2025. I feel like it's not that far away. So
I love how you say like 2025, like it's not that far away, but in reality, it's actually not. It's 3.5 years away, which is like a little bit of a big brain moment for me. But I love that this kind of is this zeitgeist moment for fans of this franchise, and obviously you were the first person I thought of when this dropped, and I didn't see it until however many hours later because it, Japan and time zones is tough. I was a little surprised that they decided to show this much of the game this early and at this event at this time, because I think a game of this magnitude could easily dominate any kind of state of play or Xbox showcase or whatever. It's in the showcase for. And like Summer Game Fest is right around the corner, not to mention Gamescom at the end of the summer. So it was a little bit surprising, but obviously 20th anniversary is a big deal, and you know, announcing it there, I guess, makes sense for fans. But I just feel like so much of like gaming Twitter was probably like, I was asleep and I missed it.
Yeah. It's really, I'm both, I was surprised to see Kingdom Hearts 4, but I'm not surprised that they announced something, because they do that with Kingdom Hearts. Like, they announce stuff at the concerts, which is weird.
That's
like
true.
a
That's
couple,
a good point. That's a good point.
Yeah, like a couple of years ago, we were at the concert in LA that happened right before E3, and at the end of the show, like, Nomura came out in his flip-flops and was like, hey, and everyone knew why he was there. And so everyone screamed for 5 minutes, and he just stood there and let people scream at him, because we were like, we know what's coming. We're getting footage. And it was Toy Story World footage. And and it was like, you could hear a pin drop in that audience as that trailer played. But they told us, like, before it happened, they were like, no recording, everyone put your phones away, okay, nobody recorded it. And of course people recorded it, and then they released the trailer like a few hours later. So there is a trend of them like giving their fans the stuff first, like the people who actually physically show up to stuff. Yeah, being like, here it is, you get it for everyone else, and we'll show it later. And I remember walking out of that concert being like, standing on the sidewalk in LA, just being like, it's Toy Story.
I remember meeting up with you after that concert, and you were like a blubbery mess.
I was like dazed. Nate said that when he came out and it was very clear what was happening, he said, I just tilted my head back, opened my mouth, and screamed. And I'm like, and he's like, a sound came out of you that I've never heard before. And I was like, we live together. That's very weird. So
I love it.
It was a moment. I'm having a whole moment. I can literally see myself sitting in that seat, the angle I was sitting, like what was happening. Like that kind of stuff they do that for us weird Kingdom Hearts fans. And I think it's really nice.
No, I think it's great. You know, obviously, you know, this fandom means a lot to a lot of people. I do love some of the spicy Twitter takes that you had. I think one of them was like, don't at me if you don't understand Kingdom Hearts but have only played the numbered games, right? Am I paraphrasing correctly?
No, you are. So the problem that is happening here is people are saying, I don't understand what's going on because I only played the numbered games. I don't want to play all the other games. That's fine. You can just play the first 3 numbered games. And then you can also go on like Wiki and read about everything if you want. I did not make the creative decision to put so much, at least, I think so. I think the problem is with Kingdom Hearts 3, like so many other games came out between 2 and 3 that you get to 3. And if you haven't played a lot of those, you don't understand what's going on because characters get introduced in big ways and you have like big battles with them that you would have no idea who they are if you didn't play games other than 1 and 2. And that's fine. I feel like maybe there could have been more done in game to explain in Kingdom Hearts 3 who these people are and why they're important. I'm thinking specifically of Terra, Aqua, and Ven, who are the protagonists of Birth by Sleep. Terra plays a really huge role because he's connected to Xehanort, who's our big bad, stuff like that. But you wouldn't really know who Xehanort is or who Terra is or why Aqua is important or why any of that stuff if you didn't play all those other games. And like, if you don't want to play them, don't play them. But also, if you want to know what's going on, there are ways for you to understand what's going on, but you don't want to go read a wiki. So like, don't at me if you like it's available to you. Like the stuff is available to you, and there's people like me who you can freaking just call, and I will just tell you, okay, this is why you have to collect 300 crabs in the Pirates of the Caribbean world. This is what it means. I hate it.
I love that you have a reason for that. 300 crabs.
I love your tweet earlier, Alexa, how you tried to explain to your wedding planner why something needed to look a certain way. And I was like, I can just see that. I can just see it.
I am going to be a huge problem. For context, I am getting married in Disney World on Halloween this year to the love of my life, who does not give me any sort of parameters or boundaries. So, and he agreed to all of this, by the way. He was like, yeah, let's do it. It was his idea to get married in Disney World. And then I kind of ran with it, and I'm a narrative designer, so everything has to be perfect and make sense. So
Yeah.
I was explaining to my wedding planner, I'm like, okay, so we want to do Kingdom Hearts theme, and like all the tables will be worlds, and like here's a thing, and I'd love for like this to kind of have this on it. And then she had like one question that was like, well, for flowers, like what kind of colors do you want for flowers? And I was like, okay, so there's this one character and there's this battle, and I really and the song and the battle mean a lot to me, so I really want to like commemorate that and like the way the flowers look. So there's this color that comes from this, and this color that comes from this, and this is why it's meaningful, and this is why it has to look like that.
She's like,
not
I don't
this.
care what
And
it
I'm
means to you, bitch. I just asked for the colors.
And I'm like pulling up shit. They asked for Pinterest boards from me, and it's literally all just Kingdom Hearts artwork. And they were like, well, we asked for Pinterest boards of like wedding things that inspire you.
Can
and
I
was like,
please see this Pinterest board? Is it public?
Here's the
Would
picture.
you be willing to make it public?
it's the stupid. It's so. I having a time, and then also I'm either gonna be like the fun, cool bride with the cool idea, or I'm the problem bride who is a narrative designer who can't let shit.
You're not the problem bride. As your friend, I will not let you become bridezilla. But even if you do, I highly doubt you at your absolute bridezilla worst is anything on the scale of what these wedding people at Disney have seen. All right, so just keep that in mind that you're fine. You might be like a little too like weeby for them, but they don't care.
Yeah, I think that's what I mean. Is like I'm like the weebiest because I've seen on TikTok recently, they're doing weddings down there right now, and a couple people have had like someone had a Kingdom Hearts cake, and it looked really cool, like it was really really beautiful, and then a couple of other people had some like Kingdom Hearts stuff as part of their wedding, and it looks awesome. And I'm like, okay, so clearly like the wedding teams, people are coming to them being like, we like Kingdom Hearts, please do this thing, and it looks awesome. But I'm the one coming in being like, all right.
So actually, let me tell you about Kingdom Hearts.
so Xehanort, because like I just don't like.
And the Disney people are like, it's fine. We don't need to know.
Yeah.
Like you just tell us the colors, you can save the story.
Just tell us the thing. Just tell us the thing. And there's they had flower arrangements at the event in Japan for Kingdom Hearts on Saturday. People had sent like congratulatory like bouquets from different companies, and they had them all on display. And one was so freaking beautiful, and I'm like, that's gonna be my wedding bouquet. So I literally just sent them this photo, and I'm like, can you make this in a small version I can hold? And they were like,
they're like, those are flowers that they can only make in Japan. We would have to like airship them. We can do it. Do you have $2,000? And you're like, just kidding.
Do it.
Never mind. Alexa says ship it. She's like, I spare no expense for the Kingdom Hearts bouquet.
Yeah, no, I have, and also like my Nate also has a lot of like really strong memories of Kingdom Hearts and a lot of things about it that like he loves and he's connected to. Not on my level. I'm like I'm off the planet like when it comes to like where I am with that franchise. But it's been like it's been really circling back to the people on Twitter. It's been really interesting seeing that be the discourse. The discourse being like, I want to know what's going on. But I don't want to put the time into it. And like, that's okay. Again, you don't have to put the time into it, but don't at me about you don't know what's going on. Like, you can read a wiki. It is okay. It is going to be fine. And also like, if you're like the way that I approach any game I'm playing, like if I'm playing it and it's a series or whatever, and I don't understand what's going on, like seeing this footage, like people will be like, who's this guy right here? Is that Riku? No, that's actually young Xehanort who time traveled from the past to come to get his future self.
Oh, I was going to just say, isn't it Sephiroth?
No. It's like, why are there two Rikus? Like, who is this guy? Like, where did his like teardrop tattoo goes? Who's that person? Who's this person? Like, what's going on here? Why does he like that? Why are these chains that like literally people, like nobody knows?
This is a real question though. How many people are coming to you, Alexa Ray, with these dumb questions?
A lot.
Wow, I'm actually pretty surprised that people would come to you like looking for sympathy of like, I don't know what's going on in Kingdom Hearts. Is that wrong of me to say that?
No. It's not wrong. I also forgot my DMs were open, but I've been reminded this week that they were open the entire time.
Yeah, well, we all make mistakes.
Yeah, but no, it's like, and I do kind of like, I understand that the frustration is with the creator, with Nomura and team, who have sort of decided like, hey, this is how we're going to tell this story. They decided not to number them the way that they number the side games. And so people just think, oh, I can just play 1, 2, 3. And that is a misconception. 2 points on that. One, I was told a long time ago, and I feel like it's in print in an article somewhere that I wrote, probably for GameSpot, but they number them. They give them a numbered title when the game is on console and when they are using the best technology available to make that game. So Kingdom Hearts 1, Kingdom Hearts 2 was like the next best technology. Kingdom Hearts 3 went into Unreal and was on PlayStation 4. And now we have Kingdom Hearts 4, which is going to be in Unreal 5 and presumably on PlayStation 5 and Xbox. So that's why they give them the number. And that's why all of the side games are... That's why all the side games are named the way they are, because while they're not using the epitome of gaming tech, they're still using interesting gaming tech. I know that team was really interested in pushing the boundaries of all gaming tech, and that's why you have games on the Game Boy Advance, the 3DS, the PlayStation Vita, and mobile became big for them as well, like all those side games. So that's a development choice on the part of like the tech side of things, not necessarily like the story side, even though Nomura is like the king of retconning, pulling stuff out of his butt and adding it in and being like, no, it was always this way, and making it make sense for someone who has followed the series and like paid attention to his storytelling and his themes. And and we can talk about his themes too later, but the other thing I want to say about this debate about like, I don't want to play them, is there are a lot of other creators that we forgive for doing stuff like this. I mentioned Metal Gear, which people are going to come after me for this again. People compare those two series a lot because they're both from these creators that have these highly specified visions, that have really strong themes and really strong characterization ideas that are a little off the beaten path, that are a little wacky, that are maybe a little too weeby, a little too out there. But people have not, if you can play Metal Gear 5 and be like, oh yeah, she's a plant. Okay. And like not ask any questions. You could play Kingdom Hearts and be like, oh yeah, Donald Duck is the most powerful mage in the universe. I get it. Sephiroth beat up a child. A child beat Sephiroth's ass. Okay, I get it. It's fine. Like it's kind of the same thing, but I think the reason that people are willing to people look at Metal Gear and are like, yes, good, but have a hard time looking at Kingdom Hearts and being like, yes, good, is because it's Disney anime. And so many people are still like, ooh, anime weeby nerds, or like, ooh, Disney is for children, and it's really not. So it's that barrier of entry, and some people can't get past it, and that's okay. And if you can't get past it, that's fine. I would encourage you to try, because the stuff that you find in Kingdom Hearts is really awesome. It's not just a story about hitting adult with a blunt object, which is what happens for most of the series.
Well, I'm glad that you brought that up, because we have a question from Valerie Freeman that says, Miss Alexa Ray, would it be feasible for a total newbie to jump into Kingdom Hearts 4 without playing the other games?
I feel like you've been answering this for the last
Sounds to me like that's a big fat no.
Yeah.
Well, no. Here we go. So, have you heard of the Machete Order?
No.
Okay, so it is a way
did you talk about this in the video that we have here on our What's Good Games channel? That's how to the definitive way to play Kingdom Hearts?
Yes. Okay.
Yes.
Okay, yes, I have heard of it.
That comes from people being like, and it's the Machete movies, and it's the idea is you don't watch them in chronological order. Blech. You watch them in dramatic order. So you'll watch something and then watch something that happened in the past that sort of fills in the blanks. And a lot of people, like, there is the Machete Order for Star Wars, for example. I think it's like you watch 4 and 5, and then you watch 4 and 5, and then you watch 1, 2, 3, and then you watch 6. Or something like that. I'm probably wrong.
Don't worry about the Machete Order. We're just concerned about Kingdom Hearts.
But yes, but this is the point I'm making. I think you could feasibly play Kingdom Hearts 4 first, experience, because in a way, Kingdom Hearts 4 is the new arc. It is a new story arc, so new things will be introduced, and I am going to give that team the benefit of the doubt and say, given the recent worldwide resurgence in Kingdom Hearts popularity and it's becoming more mainstream, they will include some primers and maybe some story and some stuff in there that will help you kind of understand why he's there, what's going on. You could play that first and then go back and do the machete order of the Kingdom Hearts games to get all of that backstory. That would actually be really, really interesting to me. And I would love to talk to someone who actually does that when it does come out, because I think you could still enjoy the series that way. You would just have a lot of questions and a lot of like feelings coming out of Kingdom Hearts 4, but then they would all be answered in all of those other games. So I don't think the answer is no. I think, however, if you have 3 years between now and when 4 comes out, you might enjoy it a little bit better if you understand what's going on. For example,
I'm sorry. Sorry to interrupt you. How much time did you say?
I think it's going to be 3 years.
Okay.
I think it's going to be 3 years. If it's 20 and 3 years being 2025, early 2025, so 2.5.
So we're going to need all 3 of those years, is what you're insinuating.
Well, no, I don't think that. Some of the games are a lot shorter than others. Like Chain of Memories is really short. Chain of Memories you can also like watch the cutscenes on. Some of these you can only really still play if you have like an old DS. Like 358 over 2 days is on DS, and when they made the all-in-one package.
So no one's playing that.
No, when they made the all-in-one package, they added the cutscenes in the story, so you still can see what's going on and everything, and that's okay.
Got it.
Question.
So and
yep.
Yes.
How many loose ends are there that you're looking to be tied up in Kingdom Hearts for? I think that's like a question I have, because as much as I would love to say like, yo, I'll be that guinea pig that will play Kingdom Hearts 4 despite not playing any of the other ones. I have a child and that like kind of has fucked up my entire gaming life. But also, you know, I wonder how I don't like playing a game when I don't understand all the little like nods, and little like elbow. So how many loose ends are you looking to be tied up in this game?
Okay.
Cool.
So there are. I'm in my head. I'm trying to pull them all together.
Oh boy.
So, at the end of Melody of Memory,
go get it.
At the end of the last Kingdom Hearts game, which was actually Melody of Memory, the rhythm game had plot in it. So like you gotta play that like rhythm game too. They say that Sora is in a fictional world and he has died and that's where he is or whatever. So the question is like, okay, so what does a fictional world mean? At the end of the series, at the end of Kingdom Hearts 3, there's all this hullabaloo over Maleficent, and Pete of Disney fame are looking for a black box that in the mobile game is shown to belong to the Master of Masters. He put something in it, and it is now being guarded by his apprentice, and we still don't know what's in that box, but it is very important. Why does we don't know what Maleficent's huge role in all of this, because she is like the last Disney villain standing who has like her fingers in a lot of stuff. We don't know why Kairi has the power she does, and now she's Keyblade training. In the trailer, we see the new trailer that came out. There's a girl with red hair. Her name is Strelitzia, and she was killed, like straight up murked in the mobile game, and now she's appeared here. And she is the sister of one of the nobodies, and was also murdered by one of the main characters. I'm trying like not to spoil a lot of it. So we need to know like how did she get there? What's going on? Like why is she here and why is she connected to Sora? There are three members of Organization 13 from which we still know nothing about. This is one of them, Demix. Dude, we have no idea like what he's doing there, why he's there. He was in the background, fiddling with his sitar in Kingdom Hearts 3 and did nothing else. We don't know what he's doing. We need to know who Yozora is, which is the big like question. Yozora is the protagonist of the Verum Rex video game that you play in the Toy Story world. And Verum Rex, as we now learn, and Yozora are actually, they're a fictional world and it's a real thing. So he's a real person doing something. So we need to meet him and we fight him in the DLC. So presumably we're going to spend more time with him. God, God damn it. There's just like, it's
I-
a lot.
this is-
A lot.
Because I love you so much, I was reading this article on IGN called what's it called? I don't know, 6 Kingdom Hearts 4 burning questions. And I was trying to like understand. And the questions were, who is the Lost
Hit me.
Master? Where is Sora?
Oh, I can answer that.
Okay, who's the Lost Master?
The Lost Master, I'm going to put money on this. I think the Lost Master refers to the Master of Masters. Because...
Wait, can we pause there for a second? The Lost Master refers to the Master of Masters.
The Master of Masters. The Master of Masters.
I feel like
played
I'm being
by my good friend
trolled. I
Ray
really
Chase.
do.
Good job. No. So the Master of Masters is he's not a villain, but he's not a hero. He's kind of like this morally gray very charismatic guy, and we've never seen his face and we don't know his name. And he was the first Keyblade master in whatever freaking timeline world we're in. And he, again, I don't want to like try not to spoil shit, but he has a conversation with young Xehanort, who has time traveled from the past to come fight. And in which he tells Xehanort who he is, and they bleep it all out, so you can't hear him say his name. And Xehanort says, Xehanort acknowledges him as the Lost Master. So I think that them calling this the Lost Master arc is really, really poignant, and I really like a key, because I think this is going to be about him coming in and all like the fuckery he's done and all the stuff he's messed up and everything that he's had his hands in, and how he's presumably going to handle this world now that it's been rebooted like 10 times and there's like all this stuff going on.
Can I just
think it
interrupt you
refers
for
to
a
him.
second? I gotta interrupt you.
Yes.
You slyly,
I'm like a crazy person.
you slyly changed your little pal on the desk there. There was wasn't there a different? There was somebody else up there, or did you just pick him up? Did you just pick him up to hug him? I was like, wait, wasn't there somebody else on your desk next to you by Sora?
I picked him. It's Riku.
Okay. I also
picked
just
him
wanted
up.
to remind you that I still have this.
Yes, good.
Yay.
Yes.
Okay. I didn't get rid of it.
Forever.
I still have it.
Leave my mark on the set.
So if you were watching at youtube.com/what'sgoodgames, you saw the Keyblade that Alexa Ray left on her final episode before she left What's Good Games. She was like,
It's not final. I'm back.
it's true, you're back.
Right.
She bestowed
I'm like
upon
Xehanort.
us
You
this
just keep coming
Keyblade.
back.
I have to admit, Alexa, we've gone down the rabbit hole of Kingdom Hearts lore that I did not anticipate.
Starting to sweat. I'm starting to sweat. Like I'm getting really.
But I did ask you this question. So, Valerie, I hope you fully understand the weight of what's in front of you if you decide to jump into Kingdom Hearts 4. But I do want to cut you off just because we have a couple other questions, and then we do have other things in the show we have to get to.
Oh, boo.
But would you like to keep hearing about Xehanort? Is that his name?
Listen,
Xehanort.
personally, I'm just smiling, nodding because I support my friend Alexa, but I know there are a lot of folks. So how about we just do like a lightning round here, Alexa? I'll go through the rest of the questions on
let's
this
go,
IGN
yeah.
article. Okay.
Okay.
So you answer the question, who is the Lost Master? Master of Masters. Okay, next
Also,
one.
after this, I'll give you my hot take theory.
Okay.
So please, continue.
Okay, where is Sora?
He is in a fictional world that was made by Nomura. That is the world of Final Fantasy Versus 13, now called Verum Rex. Next question.
Who are the two guys on the skyscraper?
One of them is definitely the Master of Masters because he's holding his hand behind his back, and that's how he stands. The other guy, his waist is really snatched, so I'm going to guess that it's Demix because Demix had a real snatched waist.
Snatched waist.
The next one,
little
you already
snatched.
kind of answered, but who is that girl? The
That's-
still, whatever. What's her role gonna be?
Strelitzia was one of the original Keyblade Masters who was training in Daybreak Town, and she was initially supposed to be one of the 5 new leaders who would usher all of the Keyblade Masters into a new world.
This one, right?
And she was freaking murdered. Yeah, she was straight up murdered.
All right. Next up, what's that forest location?
I
One
think it's
where it
Endor. I'm not gonna lie. I think it's Endor. I think
that's the
you guys
popular
are right.
theory. Yeah,
I think you're
that's the
right.
popular theory going around.
Yeah, so we did get a specific question about that. So I just want to call it to Javin Mather, who wrote in, asking about the Star Wars rumor. Of course, IGN wrote this up. A bunch of people wrote this up. Eagle-eyed fans have noticed that there was potentially the foot of a ATST Walker in the brief scene in the trailer, indicating that Star Wars could be one of the Disney properties in the next game. Images circulating on the Reddit, of course, lots of fan theories. I just want to make sure that everyone knows a lot of you have been reaching out to me being like, yo, Andrea, get the scoop from John Drake of what's going down with Star Wars. And let me remind y'all that even though my husband does work for Disney in the games department and obviously oversees Kingdom Hearts, he don't tell me shit. I don't know shit. And the official word from not from Sony. Oh my gosh, that was his old company. The official word from Disney is silence. There's no response.
Yes.
So no comment is the official response from Disney. So I have nothing to give y'all. You can keep spinning up your fan theories. Alexa, what do you think?
So this is why, then this is my hot take theory. This is why I think this is totally plausible and why I don't think it was possible before. So Disney, all those Kingdom Hearts games, those Disney worlds are like worlds that exist in that reality. Like they're all in the same reality, the same plane of existence, like cool. Sora is now, as they tell you at the end of Melody of Memory, he's in a fictional world, and that's why they can't find him, because he is in a place that has been created. And a big theme in Kingdom Hearts has been people's dreams and thoughts becoming reality and sort of bringing them to life. So them saying, okay, we're going to go to a fictional world now is actually really quite sweet, on brand, cool. But the reason I think we're going to fictional worlds is because it opens up the door to another plane of existence in which Kingdom Hearts can access IP that would not legally make sense or work on the same plane of existence as these other worlds that we've seen. For example, Star Wars. I think it's totally possible we're going to see Star Wars stuff because it is the dreams of a creator, and it also, by saying it's a fictional world and it's not like in the canon or whatever, they sort of decanonize it as a real world, quote unquote. And so it kind of protects the IP and kind of gives them a little more creativity to play with it. I think we're going to see Star Wars. I think we're going to see Marvel. Specifically, I think we're going to end up, if we go along the methodology that I'm talking about, it will be the what if world. Because one, it's animated, and two, there's a lot more for them to play with there. I think it's also possible that we'll see some live action versions of all of those all those live action remakes that they're making, because Nomura is a fan of those. And while we already have Beauty and the Beast, Lion King, Aladdin, all of those things that exist, now we can have them exist in another reality because they are a different version of a reality. Also a different version of a reality, Final Fantasy VII Remake, which is extremely popular with people right now. So that opens the door to bring remake characters. Sidebar, I think the person that they're looking for in the underworld is Zack Fair.
Oh, shit.
Because we have seen Final Fantasy characters in the underworld with Auron. I was
like, who's Zack Fair? I don't know who that is. Brittany was like, whoa.
She got it. So
wait, but you didn't tell me who
this is plausible.
Oh, okay.
So
at the end of Final Fantasy VII. Okay, I'm trying to explain this in Andrea terms. In the Final Fantasy VII, remember when Cloud is kind of getting his ass kicked, and then like that guy comes and kind of like saves him? It's kind of a flashback. He has the black spiky hair.
Yes, I remember.
You don't.
His old friend.
You look at a screenshot.
Oh, yes. Okay.
Okay. There you go.
Okay.
So I think I think I think they're in the underworld, and I think they're looking for Zack, because Zack has already appeared in Kingdom Hearts in the Olympus Coliseum. So he's there already. So he feasibly could have croaked and now is in the underworld. I think all of this is possible. I think the whole going to a fictional world thing is a calculated move by Square Enix and Disney to unlock the realm of possibility of what they can put into these games. And I am here for it, and I am very excited about it.
Mind blown. Last question. Where are Donald and Goofy?
They're in the underworld looking for Zack Fair. I already told you.
Okay, so there.
And just so people see, this is the screenshot that everybody is looking at with this alleged foot in this upper quadrant here, and it is like just a tiny clip, but this does, you're not wrong. It looks very Star Warsy. I like how
I think it's plausible.
You gave a very legitimate reason why it could be plausible. I just hear that Marvel's all about multiverse right now, so why wouldn't Kingdom Hearts be? I do think it's interesting that you brought up, and I just want to quickly touch on the fact that you had mentioned that it's the dream of a creator. Is this something that you had spoken to Nomura about personally, about his desire to work on Star Wars stuff?
I know that he is a big fan of Disney, and Pixar for him was like his, at the time, that was like his magnum opus, was like, I need to do something with Pixar. And obviously Toy Story, like, you see the love and attention that went into like those Pixar world in Kingdom Hearts 3. And the Pixar team worked with him really, really closely from the beginning. So just knowing that he has those passions, and knowing that he is very much like, how do I put this? Like, he's a big dreamer, and he doesn't let go of dreams lightly, as we've seen with now we have to play Final Fantasy Versus 13 in our Kingdom Hearts, because he's not going to let it go. And that's fine. It's cool. I'll play it. But because he's so focused, and in all of his interviews, he talks about like, the themes of these games are like grief, loss, friendship, bonds, and how for him he's so energized by how people like react to these, and how it makes them feel, and in that way he feels like bonded to the people that he's making these games for. And he's also a huge fan of all of these creators, of Lucasfilm, of like Marvel, of like Disney. Like in Kingdom Hearts 2, we have the Timeless River, which is like the Steamboat Willie old cartoons. Like, he has a deep love for Walt Disney and the people who have made these things, and he's a creator himself. So in a lot of ways, the Kingdom Hearts series is his homage to all of these creators that have inspired him and helped him grow as a creator himself. So and he's all about those dreams. So I fully believe like the dream of a creator is probably going to be a theme that we're going to see moving forward. And then that's him putting himself like in it as well. Like, Quadratum is his world. So yeah. Quadratum also Latin can translate to square, which is why I think Quadratum and Verum Rex is like an homage to Final Fantasy and Square Enix.
This is like some deep cuts nerdy shit.
I love it. I love it.
Oh my goodness. Hopefully everybody has been listen, this is why you were the first person I messaged to be like, we need somebody to talk about Kingdom Hearts. There's literally not a better person on the planet to talk about Kingdom Hearts than Alexa Ray Correa. And you do talk about Kingdom Hearts a lot in your podcast that you do. Can you remind everybody about this Kingdom Hearts podcast that you have?
Yeah, I do a podcast called Unlocking Kingdom Hearts, hosted by the amazing Cameron Hawkins, and with Jonathan Dornbush and Kevin Diaz, who Kevin is playing the series for the first time. So we do one episode per series. The Chain of Memories episode and a Kingdom Hearts 4 trailer breakdown is out the same week. And we're moving on to Kingdom Hearts 2. But it's been really excellent to just break down the series game by game. If you're the person who was like, if you're gonna play it for the first time, this podcast is a really good companion to playing it for the first time, because we explain some of the themes, we break down some things, and we have someone else who's going through it for the first time. So please enjoy.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Excellent. Had to get the plug for the Kingdom Hearts in, because now we are definitely moving on to other news.
Something else.
But before we do that, I want to let you know that this episode of What's Good Games is brought to you by MapleStory.
It's time to get armed and adorable. After 17 years of rich MMO gameplay wrapped in a unique 2D side-scroller, MapleStory is ready to proudly lean into its cute, pixelated aesthetic. The aggressively cute campaign aims to showcase the unexpected juxtaposition of cuddly, smiling characters with rich, multi-layered MMO gameplay. The campaign focuses on telling a story of immense character customization, a vast array of weapons and mounts to choose from, a seemingly endless horizon of lands to explore and battle, all while dealing huge amounts of damage to monsters of all shapes and sizes to keep you leveling up to new epic heights. It's truly a unique combination that makes MapleStory special, memorable, and beloved. With over 40 classes and thousands of cosmetic customization options, you can play and look how you want as you traverse haunted forests, opulent castles, and dark dungeons, where you'll take on legendary bosses. Taking down the massive enemies is fun on your own, but definitely easier with friends joining the fight. And with 18 years of content behind them, you'll never run out of stuff to do. Whether you've played in the past or want to explore for the first time, the MapleStory experience is special, memorable, and beloved. And you can try it for yourself by going to maplestory.nexon.net or by using our special link in the show notes. That's maplestory.nexon.net, or just click our link so they know that What's Good Games sent you.
Segments like this that make me like truly miss her being on the show all the time.
Oh my god, absolutely. I just fucking love it. I didn't understand 90% of what you said, but your energy was so infectious. I'm like, fuck yeah, no, Andrea feels when I'm talking Resident Evil. It's great.
Yeah.
I started sweating. I like legit started sweating.
I was sweating for you. I really was. I would have pitted out if I wasn't wearing a tank top.
Pitted out?
Yeah.
What? Pitted out?
You heard that?
No.
Andrea, have you heard that?
Yes, of course. It's like when you
Pit it
sweat so
out.
much, you literally like sweat stain the pit of your shirt, and now your
Pit
shirt's
it
ruined.
out. Oh, I got an image of like your armpits just blowing out. Like
Wow. That's like way more graphic than I
like
was
the shirt,
anticipating.
like your t-shirt, it just like comes out and it's just like poof. Like that's it. Your t-shirt rips.
Your pits
smells
just
from
like
all the sweat.
completely like, explode out your shirt fibers.
Spontaneously combust. It would have been great.
Yeah, it just,
This episode of What's Good Games is also brought to you by ZAVVI. This week, we are teaming up with ZAVVI here at What's Good Games, the home of pop culture goodies that you can buy from the comfort of your couch. Whether you are looking to buy music, DVDs, consoles, Blu-rays, including steelbooks and other electronic items, you can be sure that ZAVVI has a huge selection to choose from. From exclusive clothing collections from the biggest franchises to exclusive Blu-ray steelbooks perfect for film fans, ZAVVI has something for everyone. To celebrate the release of Sonic the Hedgehog 2 in cinemas, they have launched a new exclusive Sonic clothing collection inspired by the classic game series. They have also recently released the April edition of their free digital magazine, The Lowdown, which this month features exclusive interviews with the cast and director of Sonic the Hedgehog 2, as well as a behind-the-scenes look at the game that dethroned Elden Ring from the Steam charts. That's right, Lego Star Wars The Skywalker Saga. ZAVVI also has some exciting new clothing collections launching soon from properties like the Fantastic Beasts movies, Moonknight, and Call of Duty Zombies, plus more in the works. Take your love of video games and nerdy culture to the next level with gear from ZAVVI. Go to ZAVVI.com to check out their latest products and releases and use code WGG to get 20% off the clothing or 10% off other items on the site. That's ZAVVI.com and use code WGG to get 20% off clothing and 10% off other fun stuff to fill out your nerdy collections. Exclusions may apply. Well, ladies, now that we are taking a little breather from talking all things Kingdom Hearts, thanks everyone for hanging with us, even if you were confused. As Brittany noted, the enthusiasm and the passion we very much miss from you, Miss Alexa Ray. But this is another big story. You don't have a problem. You have a fandom. There's nothing wrong with that. That's why we love the things we love. Well, that's to be debated. We will pin that for another time, for the next time. The next story that I want to talk about, because it's the only other really big story that's happened at the time of the podcast recording, is that Sony has invested $1 billion into Epic Games' Metaverse development. So this story is written up by Game Informer, and they write that Epic has announced that it received a $2 billion investment into its Metaverse development, half coming from Sony. So PlayStation, obviously, was what Sony is known for in the video games world, had already had a minority interest in Epic, but now they've thrown the big B out on the table. That, of course, being the $1 billion. And they are looking to create, quote, new social entertainment, exploring the connection between digital and physical worlds. Obviously, it smacks of the Metaverse, and now Tim Sweeney has publicly commented on it, of course. It's interesting, though, that the other $1 billion comes from the investment holding company Kirkby, who is a majority owner of the Lego Group. So last week, Epic announced a partnership with Lego to develop a family-friendly metaverse targeting children, which just seems ripe for problems. You hear metaverse and children, it's like stranger danger, this is awful. Like, why is anybody creating a metaverse for children? It should not exist. Yeah. The press release states that today's investment would bring Epic's estimated valuation to a grand total of $31.5 billion. So I'm not going to read all of these quotes. You know, if you guys are interested in hearing about the quotes from all the dudes with the monies, you can please head on over to get it.
Well, when you put it that way, no.
We talked about this last week. These quotes are always just such fluffy bullshit. It's like, we are so pleased to be announced our partnership with blah, 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 blah. They're literally just meant to fill out the press release. They rarely have anything of note that's said in those quotes.
So this sounds like it's going to be like a Roblox competitor, I guess, because Roblox is like where all the kids are at now.
It's true. So there's also Minecraft, which is another metaverse where all the kids are at. And I just think that metaverses that are specifically being developed and targeted towards children are inherently problematic, not just because the way that children interact in online spaces needs to be protected and is inherently dangerous for them and requires a lot of parental oversight, but also because the laws that govern children in online spaces vary quite widely between countries, and the metaverse is designed to be this virtual space without any boundaries. And so that makes it a lot more difficult. And so it's navigating it is going to be tricky. I don't doubt that there's a lot of people who want to invest in this space because children are spending a lot of time online. All kids growing up now are going to live in an online virtual world. It's just part of being a kid now. It was interesting. I was having this debate, obviously, as a relatively new parent. A lot of other parents and my parents and their friends all have stuff to tell me about parenting, right? So welcome to the world of parenting. Everyone's going to tell you how to be a parent. And I'm honestly like always interested in hearing people's wisdom, advice, lessons learned. But the thing that comes up a lot right now with my baby being as young as she is don't let her have screen time. No screens. Don't give any screen time. Babies under 2 can't have any screens. Blah, blah, blah. No screens. And I was like, are you trying to tell me and my husband, who literally live on our screens for a living, I'm on my phone, on my computer, on my laptop, or on my television almost all day, every day, because it's my livelihood to be on screens, that you expect me to shield my baby from screens all the time? Like, that's fucking laughable. Okay. Obviously, I'm not like trying to make screens dominate her life. I think that balance is incredibly important, both for us as adults and for kids. But I just like had to give a quick, like, this is stupid. Get out of my ear. Screens are inevitable. Like, all people growing up now who were born now are going to live on screens for their entire fucking life, okay? Get over it.
Like, even when my mom had me, you know, her and my dad worked graveyard. She worked normal hours, air quote there. You know, she was essentially, for all intents and purposes, during the day, a single mom, right? So she said, like, I'd put you in a playpen. I'd put Barney on for like 45 minutes, and I would get out and I would get my housework done. I would eat. And it's like, of course. And like, I like to think I turned out relatively normal. But no, it's like this screen time thing isn't like, it's not a new thing. I think there's an amplified emphasis on it because of our cell phones that we're all like, you know, kind of addicted to. But I mean, we've all grown up with screens. And for someone to be like, screens are so bad, it just seems like an outdated view from like way back.
It's a Karen view. I'm just going to call it like it is. It's Karen's coming into my life being like, you're a bad mom because you give your baby screens. And I'm like, shut up, Karen. Go mind your business.
Thank you. Lord have mercy. Don't get me started. But I think what's really interesting about this story too is and we talked about this the last time we talked about the metaverse. What is the definition of a metaverse? And I think that's so ambiguous right now that no one could really say, well, a metaverse is this. Is it Fortnite? Is it Minecraft? Is it a virtual space where you put like is it called MetaQuest, excuse me. Or is it still called Oculus? I don't fucking know what Facebook is doing with their branding.
Oh no.
Nobody does. Facebook doesn't even know what they're doing with their branding, okay?
You put a VR headset on and you like go and live in it. And I mean, yeah, like you were saying, Andrea, I think it's inevitable. I think maybe with our generation, it might not be something that, in terms of like full VR immersion, it might not be something that we all like dive headfirst in. But I think, with the generations coming behind us, I think it's just gonna be the way it is. And I watched a really interesting video, and I'm trying to remember his name. I have it right here on Ryan Trahan. He's very famous on the YouTubes. But anyway, he did a video the other day, and Jason and I watched it, and it was called "I Spent 100 Days in the Metaverse." And I was like, okay, what is this? So he
That's
didn't
a lot of days.
Yeah, well, it was 100 days metaverse time, and I think each day was much less than like an actual day.
Oh my
Okay.
God. Okay.
Regardless, it was like several days. So it was really interesting to me to watch that because again, everyone says metaverse, but what does that actually mean? And the metaverse he visited, he put on a VR headset, and he just did not take it off at all for any reason. He slept in it, he woke up in it. And he would go to these places in the metaverse that exist in the real world. So he would go to Paris one day. He would go to a McDonald's one day. He would go to like Tokyo one day or just something like that. And he would meet people and he would throw parties. And it was just utterly fascinating to watch. And he met someone in the metaverse that he actually ended up flying out to meet him in real life, so they could go hang out at McDonald's, which is something they did in the metaverse all the time. Like, it was just utterly fascinating to watch. So I would definitely recommend watching it because it really opened up my eyes to what is the appeal of this virtual metaverse. I guess it's to hang out with your online friends in mutual places. Like, I don't know. It's going to be wild. And I am kind of concerned about this whole like metaverse being created for children, because maybe I'm just like old school, but I'm like, put kids outside, like let them have screens, of course, because it's the way, but also like let them play in the dirt for a little bit. Don't be like, here, little Charlie, here's your first year birthday. Like, here's a VR headset. Go fucking play at like Disney World. You know what I mean? I don't know.
Yeah.
Of course, absolutely.
No, I hear as someone who was raised by both Barney and dirt, I can see the appeal of like. Sorry, that came out. It sounded better in my head.
No, it came out exactly how it should have been intended.
Yes.
But it's like and you as well. Like, we have that balance. Like, we have those things that like we can function in both places. And I think that being exposed to screens and watching stuff at an early age, I was exposed to a lot of things that I would not have been exposed to in my like small yuppie like Connecticut town, like different cultures, like different types of people, like different situations. Like, that's why stuff like Sesame Street exists. It helps educate kids who maybe are not like can't fly to Paris, every day with their families or whatever. But I think stuff like the metaverse are probably going to be more popular given what's happened the last 2 years with this pandemic. While things are improving and people are going out doing things, like things are much safer, it is still out there. And also a lot of people as a result have developed like agoraphobia, anxiety disorders. Like, it's really hard. Like, even when like I was coming back in and going like to the gym and stuff, it was so weird for the first couple weeks of like, wow, I'm outside seeing people. I'm in a room with like 10 other people. None of us are wearing masks. Is this what life was like? Like, I think for a lot of people, the metaverse could be like a refuge to sort of like ease them back into like frequent social contact, or even like people that maybe like can't leave their house a lot. Like, it's a way for them to go out and like talk to people. So I think like I can see where the appeal of it is there, but I'm definitely like team dirt.
Team dirt. Yeah. Wow. Yeah. No, yeah. I mean, like, Sony just put $1 billion in that. Like, that's just absolute. I mean, granted, like, we know they have
That's
money.
so much money.
It's so much money. But yeah, like it's just a part. It's just gonna happen. And I know people don't like it when we say like, just pull your pants down and bend over because it's gonna happen. But like, listen, it's gonna happen, and it's just like you don't have to be a part of it. But there's no use in denying that this is just the way the future is going, and it's
Yeah.
That's it. I know y'all don't like that. I know you write us angry comments on YouTube because you're like, it doesn't have to be that way. And it's like, yes, I agree, Karen. It doesn't have to be that way. But like, listen, it's going to be that way. So just kind of like get used to it. Whew.
Yeah.
All right.
Rant over. A couple, in case you missed it. And sorry, I had to put myself on mute for a second because I was choking on my
on your bacon.
On my bacon.
Oh no,
the bacon has betrayed you.
Oh my gosh. And now I have like my makeup is running. Brittany,
You were
can you
just
take
so
these?
moved.
I know, I'm a mess. Can you take these in case
Yes.
you missed it?
Don't choke on your bacon. Lesson learned, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, we have a few.
Don't choke on your bacon.
We've been few. God, Alexa, I love you. I miss you so much. A few CDPR updates from the gamers. So Cyberpunk is the game that won't die. And Cyberpunk 2077's quest director, Paweł Sasko, has said that they are very aware that there is still work to be done to the game and that he is personally improving quests daily. He also said, quote, I cannot tell you anything about our future plans, but I can assure you that we are working on expansions. We're working on stuff for you guys. So I know Andrea has not played Cyberpunk 2077 yet because when it came out, she was just like, nah, dog, I'll pass too many issues. But Alexa, like, where do you stand with this game? Have you played it?
I did. It is a game. Like, I feel I feel almost like bad for the developers because it's like it's one of those things where it's like, and like this is true of both. What's that quote by Shigeru Miyamoto? Like a bad game is always bad.
A bad game
Like,
stays
don't-
bad forever or something.
Yeah, and that's like and you know he has those very strong opinions about like, and Nintendo overall has those very strong opinions about we don't rush games. We want to like make sure we take their time with them, and the stuff they put out, you know, turns out great.
Mhm.
I think that, and this is true of games and also of things like a race or other creative products that you put out into the world. If you stumble right out the gate, that's going to be like it's harder for you to get out of that stumble. And I feel like what happened at the start of this game's life cycle has just like I don't know. The game isn't bad. The game is not bad, but there are definitely a lot of problems with it that I think they should have just waited to fix to put it out so people's first experience with it was cleaner. I would really like to see them turn it around and pull a No Man's Sky. Like what ended up happening with that game, like was really awesome, and what they have in it now is really cool. But I just kind of I feel as a game dev, I feel bad. I feel bad for those people. I feel you. I feel you.
I'm with both of you on the feels bad, man. I think that this game clearly suffered from being pushed out too early. I think we've already talked about how people have talked about that ad nauseum. No worries about that. I don't know if this game can do the kind of comeback that No Man's Sky had because it's just a different style of game.
Mm-hmm.
And they clearly have a lot of other things that they need to support, other properties that are more lucrative for them, even though Cyberpunk...
Oh, what might those be?
Oh, you mean this other bullet point that's immediately below the one that we just read, also from CD Projekt Red, about how they are delaying the next-gen version of The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt indefinitely and will no longer be releasing the upgrade in Q2 2022, which was already a delay. So they basically just came out and said, yo, we don't know when it's happening. It's just not happening this year. Sorry.
Yeah.
I mean, okay, to
Maybe.
be clear, they didn't say it wasn't happening in 2022. That's me just extrapolating that it's not happening in 2022. But they basically were just like, we don't have an update. Sorry. We're working on it.
Yeah, I think from a financial perspective, like given how beloved Witcher is and how like people are gonna buy it, it would probably be wise to like let Cyberpunk be and move on to that. It's kind of it bums me out that they're delaying that the Witcher stuff indefinitely because that's what people come for.
Right?
So.
Like I just talked about on the show like a week or two ago about how I finally finished season 2 of the Netflix series. And that series has got so many people re-interested in The Witcher or potentially interested in the games for the first time. And it feels like, yo, strike that iron while it's hot, dog. Like,
yeah, get that money.
Maybe be like, yo, we don't want to abandon all of the money and time we put into Cyberpunk. We still believe in that property and still believe in that vision. But don't leave your bread and butter on the side of the road to mold, right? Like, that's dumb. Eat it.
The t-shirt. That's so good. Don't leave your bread and butter on the side of the road to mold.
Just eat it. Oh my god.
I want that. I want that in a neon sign that I can put behind my desk.
Yes. I can envision it now. Like this like shot of this little piece of bread and butter on a long highway, a long extended highway.
Just so lonely. Be like, why does somebody not want me? I don't understand.
What kind of bread? What kind of bread did you envision?
Like a baguette.
What did you see?
Like a French baguette.
I had sourdough in my head, but that's fine.
I also sourdough. Team sourdough. Team sourdough. Team dirt.
Andrea comes up with the ideas. Alexa and I execute. We have the vision.
Now everybody wants bread. Sorry to make everybody be thinking about bread.
Bread.
Oh my goodness. No, I'm with you. Clearly CD Projekt Red is going through a little bit of a tumultuous time. They've had some leadership leave. They've had some developers leave. Some people who left went and started their own studio. And so they're having a little bit of a moment that they need to, figure shit out. But I think they're going to be solid and nothing's going to happen to them as a studio because don't forget, they have GOG in their portfolio, and now they've announced that they're partnering with Epic for the next installment of The Witcher on Unreal 5, which I think will help solve a lot of their problems. But it's just a little bit of a bummer because I was very much looking forward to playing the next-gen version of this game. But, let's be clear. The PS4 and Xbox One version, not to mention the PC version of The Witcher 3, is still chef's kiss. Still very, very good. I didn't mean to belabor that point. In case you missed it, QuakeCon 2022 is once again going to be digital only. This is now the third year in a row that Bethesda has announced a digital event, saying, quote, "We're committed to returning with our full in-person festival in 2023 and already looking forward to reconnecting with friends, a massive BYOC packed with your latest custom PC creations, our wild contests, and tons of great new games and hardware for attendees to try out, and all of the balls that you can drink." Well, I added that part on the end, which is an energy drink for people who've been to.
Did you say all the balls you can drink? I'm sorry. I'm just now remembering.
That is correct. It is, in fact, an energy drink called Balls, just like it sounds, but spelled with a W. So, ba, like paw.
Bowels.
L-S.
Bowels.
Bowels.
No, it's not bowels, though. It's still just
wow.
balls.
What a hell of a marketing.
Bowels.
Oh, the bowels you can drink. Oh, God.
Balls.
It's a thing at QuakeCon. Everybody drinks the balls. I don't know why.
Balls.
It's where I first tasted it for myself. I first tasted balls at QuakeCon.
Put that on a t-shirt. Dude, sell that as merch as QuakeCon.
I tasted my first balls at QuakeCon.
Yes.
I like that. I got my, those theme park teas that are like, I puked on the roller coaster or whatever. It's like, I tasted my balls.
I tasted balls at QuakeCon.
Team Dirt.
Oh.
Team Dirt. Team Dirt will be our company name. We got it all figured out. Team Dirt.
Oh my
we'll
gosh,
make sure it's about balls.
Dirt.
My face hurts, but
so many balls.
I'm disappointed but not surprised, especially knowing that we have a new COVID wave happening. Bethesda also made mention in this press release that saying, putting on an in-person event is a lot of work and a lot of money and a lot of coordination. And the future is still a little uncertain when it comes to the pandemic. So we're just going to sit tight and wait until next year. Which to me also smacks of a very legitimate way out for a year in which they're like, we don't really have a lot to show except for Starfield. We probably can't show that much Starfield at our own event now that Daddy Microsoft owns us. We got to figure that shit out.
Very plausible.
So I think that they don't want to make a whole QuakeCon just about Starfield. So they probably
Starfield Con.
Yeah, they're just gonna wait till next year and be like, we have more stuff to talk about. Last little tidbit: the Ghost of Tsushima film, which we have mentioned, is in the works, has a screenwriter, Takahashi Dosher.
Good enough for me.
Yeah, it looks like Dosher. Will write the screenplay for the film, which is in early development. The John Wilk filmmaker Chad Stahelski is attached to direct, which to me
Yes.
is
Nice.
very exciting because I love the
Yes.
John Wick films and the style of them. And Stahelski is excellent. So, Alexa, what do you think about this?
Yay! I really enjoyed Ghost of Tsushima. I'm very excited to see a film adaptation of that, especially again with the style. Like it's already very stylized, but the
Mhm.
John Wick films are also stylized, so this is going to be hyper stylized, and I'm into it.
Dude,
Can
some
you
of
just
those
imagine
shots-
the feature film moment of it like going into that samurai mode? What's the name of that mode again?
Yeah,
Kurosawa?
Kurosawa
No,
mode?
not the
No.
mode, but like when you activate the power.
Oh,
yeah.
where it goes all
Oh,
black
yeah.
and white.
Ooh.
I'm like, it's like right onto my tongue what it was called. That power when you're like, I'm gonna go in and then you like slice, and you just murder
Yeah, it's
everybody.
epic.
Is it
Wow.
ghost
I know what you're
mode?
talking about. Maybe
Uh,
my brain has limited noodles left for space, so like I can't remember.
Somebody
but, like,
listening to the podcast is like, this is what it's called, and they're shouting it into the ether
in their car. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
They open their window and they just shout it out the window.
ghost stance.
Ghost dance.
Is that
Mhm.
it?
Yes,
Oh, okay.
yeah, that's it.
Kinda
That's such a good
anticlimactic.
game.
Oh,
Good game.
so good.
Good game. Great game.
DLC also. Oh, so good.
Also good. Good DLC.
Yeah,
Sometimes DLC can be poop. Not Ghost of Tsushima.
No.
Good.
It was lovely.
Very good.
And
Very
on
good.
that note, we're just gonna roll right into talking about what we've been playing. Normally, we would take a big break, but we aren't. We're just gonna keep going because we've been talking about news for almost 90 minutes, which is wild.
The news.
So last week, both Brittany and I mentioned that we haven't been playing a whole lot. Turns out that's still the case. My thing that I want to mention to people is that I have Memoir Blue downloaded onto my Switch. I'm finally converting to the Switch OLED that we've had sitting around the house for
Oh, yay!
an unnamed amount of months, and it's just been.
Do
sitting
you
there.
love it?
It's
Do you love it?
really pretty. I haven't yet finished transferring my Animal Crossing island because I'm not gonna lie, I'm a
Oh.
little terrified to do it. I've watched like 3 YouTube videos on how not to fuck it up, and they're like, "Listen, if you have cloud saves with Nintendo Online, you're pretty much okay." But like, just don't
Yeah.
delete the regular Switch that it's on, and don't give it away, and you'll be fine. And I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
still scared. But it is really pretty, and the screen is very nice, and so I'm looking forward to playing Memoir Blue, and I will hopefully be able to talk about it next week. But Alexa, you've been playing a game that a
Oh, I'm
lot
so
of people in
excited.
my feed have been talking about,
Oh,
called
God.
Stranger of Paradise.
Lay it on me, girl. We talked about this when you were on the show last time. I still have not played it. I am so
Said-
excited.
I said I would come back and talk about this, and I'll talk about this. That game was I'm sorry, children, fucking bonkers.
Is it Cuckoo Bananas?
It is cuckoo bananas, backflip off the earth, gagged, bagged, pooped and gooped. Like, it's just forget it. Like, it is wild. And when
Boop-de-doop? What was that? I don't even know.
gagged, bagged, gooped, and pooped was what I tried to say.
Hold on. Gagged,
All
bagged,
the way.
gooped, and pooped.
Some of those are drag queen terms. I apologize. I've been binging all of the previous seasons of RuPaul's Drag Race because I haven't
Oh,
watched it for like the past
wholesome.
year. So now it's in my head. And I also went to a drag show like 3 weeks ago, so it's like all in my
Fun.
head. Oh my god, how do I talk about this game without spoiling it? Okay, because I really don't want to spoil it. So this year, in addition to being the 20th anniversary of Kingdom Hearts, it is the 35th anniversary of Final Fantasy. The franchise, the whole damn thing. And chaos. And this game is a dramatic, extremely dramatic retelling of the events of Final Fantasy 1, that little pixel game that came out all of those years ago that started it all. And that game didn't really have like a big story. It was more focused on like turn-based combat and all that stuff. So the whole premise of the Final Fantasy series is like, and something that they kind of started adding more in like recent years is like, chaos is that evil force that causes all the bad guys to lose their shit and like do evil man things or evil woman things. Sorry, there are evil women, equal opportunity evil in this universe. So like all of the evil people doing their thing. And the original game was there's a Walmart Prompto, I like to call him.
What?
Because he
I'm sorry. Did you say Walmart Prompto?
I did. So what they tried to do, okay, so in the retelling of Final Fantasy 1, they basically ascribed personalities to these main characters that before didn't really have personalities. And one of them, Jed, the guy with the pink hair, he constantly stands like he's bent over. Guy must have the worst back problems on the planet. But they gave him like a kind of like really like watered down like bootleg version of Prompto's personality. So I kept referring to him as Walmart Prompto. Because he's just like not the real thing.
Brittany, are you okay?
Still there doing the thing. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
It's so perfect. Keep going.
You get it though. You get it. You played 15. You get it. It's Walmart Prompto. So anyway. The first thing I got to tell you, and I'll talk about the combat's excellent. I'll get to that in a second. The first thing I got to tell you is that those trailers and those demos where he's constantly like, "I'm here to kill chaos. I only want to kill chaos. Don't fucking talk to me." That's literally how he talks for the entire game. That's the whole game. It's not a lie. It's not, the trailer didn't like make it seem like something it wasn't. That's the whole damn game. This dude, like, there are as a narrative designer and a writer, I wanted to like curl up into a ball and evaporate from the planet because some of this dialogue is real crazy. He literally like, people will be like having a conversation like, "Hey, look at that pretty tree," and he'll be like, "I don't want to talk about trees. I'm just here to kill chaos and I don't want to do anything else." And there's like a whole plot point where they start to like remember things and they'll be like, "Uh-oh, don't let Jack hear you. He doesn't want to remember that stuff." And he's just like, "Chaos. Oh, I need to kill chaos. It's burning inside me." Like, that's the whole damn game. It's the whole damn game. And that's it. And it's like the game does these really cool. I'm sorry, Brittany. It does these really cool things where like some of this just...
Are you okay, Brittany?
I'm losing my shit.
I hope chaos likes my shirt. Like, it's basically, that's the whole game. It's the whole game. I picked out these pants just for chaos. I hope he likes them. Pants are pants are very important in this game, actually.
Okay.
Little pants. Yeah, but no, like that's the whole game, and it's really The Stranger of Paradise is
I love you both so much. I really do. I miss this.
Oh, the tears. Oh God.
Take a break and watch some B-roll.
Has my number.
Legit, like you've sold me on this game. You have 1,000%.
Let me
She's like,
sell
but
it
wait,
even
there's
more. Wait, there's more. So other than like, gotta kill chaos, I hope chaos likes my shirt, Mom said it's my turn to kill chaos. Like, basically like
Mom said?
Mom said it's my... I posted a picture of Chip a couple weeks ago when I got the game, and he's screaming and he's blurred, and I just wrote, "Mom said it's my turn to kill chaos," and people were like, "What the fuck?" So Mom said it's my turn to kill chaos, but actually that's not far off. Mom said it's my turn to kill chaos as a plot point. Just you wait. So the game is so beautifully set up. So you basically go through... It is a Souls-like. And they put you in these dungeons, and you have to like go through the dungeon, collect your loot, fight the bad guys. If you save at some point, all the enemies respawn. Like, it's very classic Soul stuff. But all of the dungeons are based off a territory from previous Final Fantasy games. Oh. And the way that they do that is they're like, "Oh, this place is from Dimension 9, and it's the forest."
Oh,
it's the forest, and then it's like, "Oh, this is from Dimension 10, and it's Montgalania Woods," or "This is from Dimension 6, and it's the floating continent," and stuff like that. And they do them all the way through 15, and 15s is actually you're basically in their house. Like, I was like in Noctis's house, like opening all his drawers, being like, I'm taking these pants. Like,
But not Walmart Noctis.
No,
not
Walmart. There's I wouldn't call Jack Walmart Noctis. Noctis had way more personality.
Mm.
Oh God.
And also was not like, dang it, Walmart was, Noctis is also a little whiny beans. But this guy is like, he's literally every conversation, like characters will start to talk and like plot will develop, things will happen, and people your party will be discussing with you as you're moving through the world. And all of a sudden, you, main character, Jack, will butt in and be like, stop talking, you're not talking about chaos. I don't want to hear it. Just like, and that's it. And so all of them are like, oh, sorry. So that's the whole game. But and the collecting the pants is also a thing. So you collecting pants. I'm being reductive, but I'm explaining it badly.
I appreciate you being reductive because we don't have time to go through everything in Stranger of Paradise after what we talked about with Kingdom Hearts. Ain't got time.
I will say the big thing that will sell you on this game is the way that you customize your loadout. You can have 2 separate loadouts that are attached to a job class and an outfit. It is very reminiscent of the dress sphere system from 10.2 that was then in Lightning Returns that they've sort of borrowed and played with a little bit in some of the other pieces of the franchise. But it's like you set up your job class. So it's, for example, you have like swordsman and you have mage and you have your weapon and you basically collect loot. Like there's a lot of loot collection, which is where opening the chest, like you'll open a chest and like 2 pairs of pants and some shoes will fall out and the icons are literally like pants, like floating on the ground pants. Which is hilarious to me. But like you collect all of the different pieces. And you can collect certain pieces that have a certain affinity with your job class, so you can really make yourself like quite powerful. And when you're in combat, which is very Souls-like combat, like it's exactly like a Souls game. It's the best way I can describe it. It's very fast, very very fast and fancy free.
Wait, do you think Souls game combat is fast?
It goes fast. It happens fast. The encounters, when I say fast, I say that encounters come upon you quickly. Yes, encounters come upon you quickly. And you'll do a lot of dying if you're not sort of like properly put together.
Makes sense.
And you can literally hit a button and switch between your 2 outfits and your 2 job classes. And just like, now I need a magic. Now I'm going to go back to big sword. And you can do that. You can set up you can have 3 people in your party and you can set them all up that way. So there's a ton of customization that makes combat really fluid. The story is like, I'm not going to spoil it. I need everyone to go play it. But like, okay, like it's I know that this is like an homage to the series and it's like kind of a little bittersweet and a little wacky, but like the obsession with chaos is a thing. It's not just for the trailer. Go play it. It's hilarious. But it's fun. Like if you're like a combat person and you're like, I want some challenging combat and I want to run around and I like Final Fantasy and I want to play in a world that pays homage to it, like this game is for you. It's good. It's not terribly long, but if you're a big Final Fantasy fan, I would say go ahead and play it. You can play it on story mode. I don't recommend it because the story itself is you're just gonna fight people for 5 minutes and then hear about chaos for 10 minutes. But I think it's a really nice challenge and it's really cool, and it's a really cool concept.
Do you think it deserves, and I'm not trying to be like snarky, but it deserves like a place among other Final Fantasy titles, or does it kind of feel much more like an outlier?
This is an outlier. Like there's no way on God's green earth I would ever slot this in with like the other Final Fantasy titles. This is an homage. It is a Final Fantasy game because there are elements that connect it, and it is a dramatic remake retelling of like the first game. Honestly, guys, like the pixel remasters are fine. Go play Final Fantasy 1. It's a classic. It's old school. Back in my day, we only had like 8 pixels or whatever. So like if you're not into that, that's fine. But I think this is really interesting, and it was really cool to like see the series with a different kind of combat style. I think they had some fun with the combat, and I would like to see elements of this combat maybe put into the main series somewhere. Do I want the main series to turn into a bunch of Souls games? No, please God, no, don't do that to me. I'm so bad at those games. Am I bad at this game? Oh, absolutely. But having fun, that's what counts. And I beat it, and it's freaking weird, and I need to talk to you about someone. So if you beat Stranger of Paradise, send me a DM because whoo boy.
I thought you said you closed your DMs.
No, they're still open.
Okay. Well, I'm glad that we covered that, just so you can talk to people about Stranger of Paradise.
Brittany, play it. Please play it. Play it.
I really want to. Okay. You've literally convinced me. Like, I'm too intrigued now to pass it up. I cannot not.
Is there a baby-ass baby mode?
Yes, there is a baby-ass baby mode.
Boom.
You can play on story, and then there's like 2 different combat modes as well. So you can play on one easy difficulty, and then you can make it even easier by doing like casual for combat. So if you are listening to me talk about this and are like, I got to hear this for myself, like play it on the easy mode. You'll have a good time.
Okay. Oh my God. I have to
Girl.
make this fabled chaos.
Well, other than your game of watch baby, don't let baby kill themselves, what else are you dabbling in, Britt?
A little bit more of the Kaito Files, which is the Lost Judgment DLC that came. Having a great time with that. There's a lot of game press. RGG, fantastic. Still, like, don't get me wrong, a lot of people play their games, a lot of people love the studio, a lot of people know that they're fantastic. But for some reason, I still just feel like they're just underrated. And it's just a matter of time before they blow all your socks off. Mark my words, Brittany, the Nostradamus right here. Played that a little bit, still loving it, milking it for all I can, because I don't know when we're getting our next RGG game. I'm watching Halo as well. I watched the 3rd episode of Halo, and it was way better than the 2nd episode, and I'm really digging the Cortana Chief dynamic. I would recommend that it's really good. Like, I say really good, and I say that because I'm going into this with like minimal expectations. Like, I just want some fan service. I just want some funny banter, and I think they're really starting to nail that Chief Cortana dynamic. I will say some of the other dynamics in relationship with the characters are so like out of canon that it's very bizarre, and I'm not sure how they're going to work with that. But guess what? That's not my problem to solve. I just sit there with some popcorn and whiskey, and I enjoy the media being delivered to me. And that's kind of it. I'm still playing a little bit of Tiny Tina, and Andrea, I see here you are too. But I only get the chance to really dive into that maybe like once a week with Jason, and it's fun. It's really great. It's just a perfect kind of like mind melt game in a good way.
Yeah, absolutely. It's just like good mindless fun in like a way that I need. I just did the Murphs side quest.
That's where we are. Yeah.
Which is a blatant rip of the Smurfs, and I'm like so into it.
So good. When those little blue dudes popped up, I'm like, oh, I see what they're doing there.
Yeah.
So good.
Sometimes you just need that game that's just going to let you unwind. And as much as I want to go back to Elden Ring and do a little bit more exploring, I still want to put time into Lego Star Wars, the Skywalker Saga, because it looks so good. And I've been watching John play a bunch of it. And as I mentioned earlier, I have Memoir Blue on my Switch. And, you know, there's just a lot of games to play. You know, lots going on. But I really just, at the end of the day, only have energy to watch TV because my baby is going through a sleep regression. And let me tell you, that shit's hard. I'm literally watching. She's still awake right now. It's late.
Oh, no.
It's late. Baby should have been asleep 2 hours ago, but she's awake right now because that's her thing lately. So what does that mean? It means mama is up late with the baby, and then afterwards is like, I'm done. I just need to sit on the couch and like stare at something blankly. And that thing has been Yellowstone lately. So, which is pretty good. Don't really need to go really into it. I'm watching the first season. They're on season 4, I think. But I see, Alex, that you've also been dabbling in Moonknight, and I've watched the first episode of that.
Yeah, I watched the Moonknight. I gotta say, a lot of people are like, oh, finally, a mentally ill Marvel hero. Did we all forget about Hulk?
That's a very valid point.
I'm mad about it. Like he came first. I understand that that Poe Dameron, not Poe Dameron man, is very hot, but he did not come first. I don't know. I think it's like it's good. Like I'm not as into it as I was into like WandaVision. I think WandaVision spoiled me because it was so good, and it was like one of the first Marvel shows that came out. And this one is, I think, only 6 episodes, and it's really condensed. And like the Moonknight looks cool, but I'm kind of like I have a little bit of like new hero fatigue right now because I feel like so many new Marvel heroes have been introduced in the past 3 months. Like we got female Loki and tiny Hawkeye, and what was the other one? I don't know. I'm probably forgetting them. Whatever. And then we have Multiverse of Madness coming up, and we have America, and it's like,
yeah,
there's so many. There's so many. 2 more Spider-Mans. Like there's all these things happening, and I'm like, I can't keep them all straight. It's a lot. Like I need a little more space in between them, please. So I'm enjoying it, but I think I'm fatigued, to be honest, of Marvel shows. A little bit, just a little bit.
It's a lot to manage if you're a Marvel fan. And like I appreciate that they're kind of delving deep into the comics to like bring to light some stories that really haven't gotten any spotlight. But as you mentioned, it's a lot, particularly for people who aren't comic book readers, to be like trying to keep track of it all. And so for people who missed it, Moonknight is a new series on Disney Plus that follows a comic book story from the Marvel Universe. And I think it got a lot of attention because Oscar Isaac is the star of the series. And of course, sorry about that, everybody. He is well known for playing Poe Dameron in Star Wars. And he's obviously done a lot of other things in TV and film. But it's an interesting character, mostly because I think everybody in my feed is like, what's this stupid accent that he has? And it really detracts from looking at the performance overall and what the character is about. It didn't really bother me. I think I didn't even notice it until everyone was like, what's this accent? And I was like, what? I just assumed it was his way of differentiating between his personalities. And that's all I'm going to say, because I don't want people to be spoiled who are like, oh, I want to go check it out and don't really know about Moonknight, because I had no idea who the Moonknight is or what the show was about before watching the first episode. But it became clear to me that I need to binge these episodes all together and not watch them one at a time.
Yeah, I feel like that might alleviate a little bit of this the I'm feeling with this series. Like maybe I'll wait until it's all out and then watch it all together. I forget week over week
what's happening. Well, I think what I've noticed and what WandaVision kind of made me realize was that Marvel Studios is really great at telling cinematic stories, but they're not so great at storytelling in a television format. In this week to week, we need to create a beginning, middle, and end, and potentially a cliffhanger at the end of the episode to bring people back. Instead, I think they concept what they want to do very much in the way that they concept their feature films, and then they just like chop it up into episodes, and like that's not how narrative works. Maybe you could tell me a little bit more how you feel, Miss Narrative Designer.
Oh, no, I feel the same way, and I feel like there are a couple of shows like I think WandaVision was successful in the way that it told its story because those episodes were also shorter. Like it was like a 30-minute serialization, and I get what they were doing. They were mirroring the shows that she watched and she loved, and then they got longer as we went on. And I think I did like the first season of Loki. I thought that the way that they structured their episodes, leaving them on like really nice cliffhangers, but not like seriously bad cliffhangers. I thought that the way that flowed was really good too. But like, I don't think it's worked for every property. Like, for example, I feel like that Black Widow film should have been a 6-episode series, and I feel like Hawkeye should have been a film. I feel like there was more over here going on with Yelena and Black Widow, and I feel like the whole, Clint passing the torch to Kate Bishop could have been a really nice, tight movie. I don't think it works for I don't think every property works in that same 6 to 8 or 6 to 10 or whatever episode thing. And we're kind of seeing, I guess, I don't want to bring Lucasfilm into it, but the trend that we're seeing on Disney Plus is every year we're getting, with Marvel, we're getting multiple series. And then as soon as one ends, we're like, hey, remember this one character that appeared in 2 episodes? She's got her own series coming too. Get ready. And then it's like, oh my God. Okay. But we're getting this glut of again, like 6 to 10 episode series, and a lot of them have filler. Like what happened with Book of Boba Fett, I feel like that series did not work at all, and they should have just held those 2 episodes with the Mandalorian stuff in it for the next season of the Mandalorian. I feel like that would have made more sense.
This is a juicy take. This is juicy.
Yeah, I feel like I did not like the Book of Boba Fett, although Cad Bane was in it, and he's my second favorite Star Wars character, so I'll take that. But no, I don't think that they're like messing up. I just think that the episodic structure does not work for every story they are trying to tell. Like the reason it worked for WandaVision
100%.
is because it was mirroring the format of what Wanda was doing, like with like the whole town of Westview and stuff, and that's what made that I think that series so brilliant. And Loki was shorter, but every episode had a very clear like, this is a dramatic through line. It gets solved. Oh my gosh, there's something else going on. And
it's so funny that you say that. Because
you didn't like Loki?
No, I liked Loki a lot. I yelled at the television watching WandaVision because I was so mad that they were trying to pay homage to classic sitcom format across the decades of sitcom and how it's changed. But I don't think they ever successfully nailed it because I don't think they told a sitcom format episode, because sitcom format is beginning, middle, and end. The story has a conclusion. There are no cliffhangers in sitcom, right? Like it always has an ending, and it has a nice little button, and it's done, and it feels good when the credits roll that you watched an episode of television and you got all of the information you need, and you're not anxiously waiting until next week to figure out what the fuck happens. That's the beauty of sitcom. And it made me very table flip angry at WandaVision.
I think the first episode came close, but like the rest of it was like, I don't think yeah, no.
They didn't, Alexa. Right. Go back and watch it.
No, I know.
There's no buttons on the ends of those episodes. I was like, I'm mad about this.
Wow,
they didn't do it perfectly. They didn't do it perfectly, and I don't think like I thought the way that they kind of like started the episode with those good intentions, and then it all went all Marvel. I think it worked for that property, that story, and those characters. But I feel like the rest of them are just like.
Yeah, no, going back and rewatching it, like I said, that show to me still feels like a show that's meant to be binge. It's meant to be more of a Netflix style. Let's just drop all the episodes at once and let people watch it all together. Because the thing I told John, God bless his soul for listening to me like rant in the middle of, I am that person because we don't go to movies anymore, that while we're watching, I'm just like shouting at the television. Like, I'm mad about this thing, and you're my husband on the couch next to me, and you have to listen to me rant about it.
You can like borrow Nate for these because he talks through everything like that. And it's just like, why is this? I think you guys would have a great time.
Oh, Nate, whenever you're ready, just come on down. We'll watch stuff together. It'll be great.
Oh my god.
But no, that was the thing about some of these Marvel series, and I think some of them work, like you mentioned, on Disney Plus, and some of them don't. And I think that they're just finding their footing, which is why I'm very excited about the new trailer that dropped semi-recently for Doctor Strange 2 in the Multiverse of Madness. And I tweeted that I'm just like, I literally have like a pain in my heart about not being able to go see these amazing movies on opening night, because I always was there at midnight. Alexa Ray and I went and saw Star Wars at midnight together.
Yes, we did.
And it was awesome. We went in fucking Chewbacca sweatshirts.
I still have it.
I got rid of mine a long time ago.
Oh, okay. Well, I see.
Listen, I've moved twice since then, right? Like I was like, wow, why am I still carrying this fuzzy thing around? I gotta get rid of it. I'm sorry. Don't be mad.
Oh, there has to be pictures of that somewhere, right?
There is, I think, a picture somewhere. I think we posted it on. I'll look somewhere. But yeah, I miss that. I miss that experience so much. And we've talked about how not only because of the pandemic is the movie going situation just different, but being a parent, it just hits different. And I was recently on DLC. Shout out to Jeff Kanata and Christian Spicer and the DLC podcast. If you guys haven't checked it out, they're wonderful humans and they have a great show. And Jeff was talking about Everything Everywhere All at Once and how people need to run, not walk, to the movie theater to go see this movie. And I said, Jeff, is it worth me having to pay over $100 to get a babysitter on top of the cost of going to the movie to go? And he said, yes. And I was like,
Oh.
And I said, okay, that's a very strong endorsement from another parent who has 2 small children. But I said, I don't know who I'm going to get to come babysit.
Yeah.
But I would definitely go see Doctor Strange if, I can procure a babysitter. But it just hits a little different, now going to movies. So, but that's all I'm going to say about that right now. Ladies, this has been really fun. And we could absolutely keep going. But I have a feeling that my husband, speaking of babies, could use some help with a baby that's very much still
I
awake.
literally haven't laughed that hard and I don't know how long. So Alexa, thank you. Like
Thank you.
I am exhausted in the best way possible from that laugh.
Team Dirt.
Yeah, Team fucking Dirt. Let's go.
There's just so
Team
many
Dirt.
nuggets from this
Team
episode.
Dirt.
I don't know which one Brittany's going to be able to pick to clip. Is it
I have
Walmart Pronto?
Walmart Pronto. It's Walmart Pronto.
I got Walmart Prompto. I have the bread and butter along the side of the road, and then I ate my first balls at QuakeCon, or drank my first balls.
No, wait a minute. It was drink.
I tasted my first balls.
This is not a family-friendly show.
But we still are on all of the lists for podcasts for kids. It still keeps happening.
We just need another one.
Is it because we are children, actually? Like, that's
Obviously.
why.
Yeah, clearly.
Alexa
Oh my
Ray
God.
Korea, it's been a 100% joy, 110, maybe 1,000% joy to have you on the show. As Brittany just said, if people want to find you, listen to your Kingdom Hearts podcast, buy your book, find the shenanigans, where's a great place for them to do so?
You can find me on Twitter at AlexaRayC, and I think I have a pinned tweet with my book link in it. And yeah, it's all there. I'm on Twitter. It's happening. Yeah.
And you guys, if you're interested in Kingdom Hearts, definitely scroll back through her feed and look at all of her like live reactions to what was happening with Kingdom Hearts.
Oh
It's
my
pretty epic. Pretty great.
Feet.
Well,
The feet bother me so much.
they are weird. They're weirdly large. They're like, it's fine. We'll dissect them another time. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us. If you've made it all the way to this point of the podcast, we hope that you've been laughing along with us. As we like to say every week, if you have a couple minutes of your time and you want to leave us a 5-star review, it greatly helps us out a lot. And don't forget, the sponsors that help make this show possible have lots of deals. Don't forget to check the show notes for all those deals as well. Alexa, it's great to see you. Brittany, massage your face. The pain will go away eventually
God.
from all the laughing. And have a great weekend, everybody. We'll see you later. Bye.